Hi everyone. This video is about the 3 basic piano techniques that we're going to use when we start learning piano. So I will use some pieces as example to explain how do we use that 3 piano techniques. So first we're going to talk about stepping fingers. Stepping fingers is the first step when we start learning piano. It's training our fingers to be more strong and steady when we're touching the single notes. So what I would do is I'll show you how that action looks like on the piano cover, and then we're gonna try a piece. Oops. Okay. If you're sitting in front of the piano, I want you to put the cover down. Okay, and put your hands straight, stretch it out, and then gradually put your finger back. You see, when I pull my finger back, I actually raise my hands. Yeah, that is when you're feeling like you use a little bit of muscle inside your hand. So this muscle will help us to support our hand to make it very steady and strong. So when you put your finger back, okay, gradually raise your hands. Now we don't want that straight fingers, we want to curve, so you can push it, your knuckles out, and then you get your perfect piano hands. We call it hand postures. That's the piano hand postures. Sometimes we will forget our wrist is dropping too low, or sometimes reaching too high, raising too high. That's also not very comfortable. So make sure your hands in the correct hand posture. The stepping finger is we put our hands up, using the elbows like to raise, pull your hands up. Our hands is totally relaxed. When you're pushing it down, when you try to play the keys, we kind of like lower our wrist, so our finger get a little bit ready, okay, and reaching down. If I use number 3, I'm gonna put my number 3 down and press down on the keys. So let's try up and down. We use 5 fingers first. Up and down, up and down. I want you to imagine that your fingertips has magnet. In the piano as also magnet, so it kind of like attract your finger to the piano when you're closer to the keys. Yeah, can you feel the click, click, up and down? Now I'm gonna try single fingers now. Our thumb is our finger number 1. When you play the thumb, try to lift the other fingers up so they're not touching the keys. Okay, but still keep them curved and relaxed. You don't want a finger go like this. Totally relax. Up and 1, up and 1, up and 1, up and 1. Now we're gonna move to finger number 2, your index fingers. Up and 2, up and 2, up and 2, up and 2. Now up and 3, up and 3, up and 3, up and 3, up and 3. Now up and 4, up and 4, up and 4, up and 4, up and 4. You always need to check your wrist. We don't want a low wrist or either the head wrist. We want a straight up wrist. Up and 4, up and 4. Last one, up and 5. Make sure your 5 is nice and steady. Up and 5, up and 5. Check your wrist. Up and 5. Right, this is the stepping fingers. I would use a song, it's called The Big Black Cat, to demonstrate the stepping fingers used in the piece. Okay. Now, when we're counting the beat, we make the sound very steady and also try to go a bit slow so you have a time to concentrate on your hands. Right, now I'm gonna put a metronome on. Choose a slow speed. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, right? So the speed that I choose is 44. Not very fast, but give you a lot of time to look at your fingers. Okay, try to feel the stepping finger movement. Okay, let's start. Two left hands. Okay, you see the stepping fingers is all about the hands up and down. That movement, pull your hands up and then drop. Put your hands up and then drop. Okay, so make that dropping movement more naturally and comfortably, but make sure you use your fingertips to touch the key and keep your hands nice and round, like you're holding an apple or egg. Alright, that's the big black cat for stepping fingers. Now we move to the next one. It's called walking fingers. Alright, walking fingers is the finger rotate between different ones. Apparently, if we use the same key, we can't really do walking fingers. Okay, you have to be playing different keys. And walking fingers is one finger down, four finger up. Just that's a key of playing a very clear and independent sound. So make sure you're not dropping all the fingers down when you play walking fingers. You keep them slightly up. Doesn't have to be really high, but holding your fingers up a little bit. Okay, now let's have a look at the walking fingers. We still start with the stepping fingers. Once you press that one key, you want to transfer the weight to another finger. You want to connect those two fingers. So what you need to do is you need to lift the finger up, the finger that you try to swap with, and lift it up as high as possible. Okay, and hold that force, hold that strength, and then swap with the finger number one, the first finger. So now you have all the weight from your arm, from your shoulders, down on finger number two. So relax the other fingers. Now number three, up and swap. Relax. Up. I'm going to do number four now. 4 and 5 can go together. Up and swap and relax. Number 5, up and swap and relax. Now you can go in back. Number 4, up and swap, relax. Number 3, up and swap, relax. Number 2, up and swap, relax. Number 1, up and swap, relax. So it kind of like I have 3 actions. First one is to lifting up the fingers that you want to use, okay, and pushing it down nice and strong to swap with the previous fingers and relax. We don't want our fingers to keep holding like this all the times. It give a lot of pressures on your hands, your muscle get tense and you get tired really easily. So the relax step is quite important. Take the time to relax all your fingers and get ready for the next one. Swap, relax. Okay, now I'm gonna use the pieces from the technique book. First one, warm up as example, okay, showing how to use walking fingers on the piano. Now this piece you can see is only 4 bars, but at the end there's an open bar and says follow this pattern, move on the white keys. So it's not just 4 bars practice, you can keep pressing on the different positions and practice a bit more. Alright, but first I'll show you how to do the walking fingers on piano using the warm-up exercises. So the first note is a C. I'm gonna place my number 1 on C. So first you have to know the notes. So let's figure it out. We have a C, D, I'll show you here, C, D, E, F, G, F, G. And then we start from G, F, E, D, C, D, C. So kind of like a going up and then going down, that pattern. Right, let's give it a try. Very slow. I want you to see my hands carefully, very, very close. I'll try to pull a bit closer so you can see my hands moving. Okay, now first note, left your hands up and then drop. D, number 2, ready? Up, down, and then relax. E, up, swap, relax. F, up, swap, relax. G, up, swap, relax. F, up, swap, relax. G, up, swap, relax. And we have a 1 beat wrist. Now next 2 bars, number 5, up, down, relax, 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 up, down, relax. Okay, that's the first 4 bars. What you can do, you can use the same pattern. Okay, move your hands to D position and do the same. Wrist. Rest. And then move to E position, do the same. F position, G position, A position, B position, and going back to C position. So each line, like that 4 bars pattern, you're gonna play on all the positions from C to another C. Okay, it's kind of like you repeat 8 times, but in the different positions. Alright, so that is the walking finger exercises. And the last one we're going to talk about is called, still in this book, it's called the staccato jumping fingers. Right, jumping finger look like this. It has a little dot under or above the note. Okay, it always goes with the head, the nose head, the round part. When we see the staccato dot, we're going to think about 2 words, touch and push. I'll explain what that means. So staccato jumping notes start with our fingers putting on the keys. Because we are doing 1 note, like single note at the moment, so we're just using 1 finger, put it down. Okay, the other 4 fingers, again, we're going to lift up a little bit. Okay, this is called the touch. Touch means 1 finger down, 4 finger up. Get ready. And then the second word, second action is push. So you push the key down quickly with a little bit of force, push it down, and then because you're gonna push a bit quickly, so your hand's gonna bouncing it up naturally. Okay, so you release the key as quickly as possible. So touch, push, touch, push. Because we're pushing it down, okay, the force that we have from our arm, let roll our wrist forwards. So if you see your hands go like this is not correct. Your wrist too low. Keep your wrist straight up. When you press down, touch, push it down, you roll your wrist forwards. So touch, push, touch, push, touch, push. The key thing is when we touch the key, when you say push, you don't let your hands tap and knock on the key. Okay, it's like a knocking. We don't want that. We want touch the key, stick to the surface, and push down straight away. Okay, I'm gonna show you on the piano. So let's use the page 7, the kangaroo hops, because it's easy and very clear. Okay, right. So finger number 1, I'm getting ready. Touch, left the other hand up, and push down straight away, like this. Okay, but we are doing staccato. You have to release the key quickly. So ready? Touch, push, touch, push. Second finger, touch, push, touch, push. See, I'm not doing this. This is wrong. This is like a knocking on the keys. We want to have a high wrist and pushing down straight away. Touch, push, touch, push, but with a quickly release. Alright? Touch, touch, push. Number 3, touch, push, touch, push. Number 4, touch, push, touch, push. Number 5, touch, push. Number 4, touch, push. Number 3, touch, push. Number 2, touch, push. Number 1, touch, touch, push. Number 5, touch, push. Number 1, touch, push. Left hands, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push, push, touch, 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 push. Okay, now the next piece is called the knock on wood. It's introduce the intervals, staccato intervals, that we're going to use 2 fingers to play 2 keys. Okay, it's other things exactly the same. We just need to keep those 2 fingers down and push them at the same time. To the right hand, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push. 3, 5, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push, touch. 2, 5, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push. 1, 5, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push, touch, push. All right. And we have a similar exercise on the page 17. Page 17 is the basketball and also watch that dribblings. You may see some different fingerings like a writing on the book, but don't worry about it. Okay, you just use 1, 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5 for the same notes. So no need to rotate the fingers. So that's for the finger technique, staccatos. Now the last one I'm gonna talk about is called the phrasing. Okay, let me find a technique book. Right. So I'm gonna use another two pieces to explain what phrasing is. So this phrasing is not called phrase. So it's like a sentence in music. Sometimes we call that passage or called a phrase. We call a slur. So they're talking about the same thing. Okay, it's a bunch of notes. I'm gonna play together and with a little bit of pause. So in the music, the phrase is using a music sound we call a slur. It connects some of the notes together to make a phrase. So a phrase can be as small as 2 notes, or 3 notes, or 4 notes, or 5 notes. Okay, it doesn't have a maximum limit, like how many notes you can make a phrase. But it's generally shorter than the walking fingers. I can show you some of the walking finger size. It looks similar. Like this is the walking finger sign. We play legato, connectly, okay, but it's quite long. It's like 4 bars long. Phrase is generally smaller, shorter than the walking fingers. Okay, so we start from 2 notes. That's the shortest phrase. And then we can do 3 notes, 4 or 5. In this exercises, we're doing the 2 note slur and 3 note slur and the 5 notes. Okay, right. Phrase. Let's talk about what's the differences between phrase and walking fingers. Is how we're gonna end the passage, the phrase. Okay, how we're gonna play the last couple notes. So the first one, when we do walking fingers, we connect each note. They play evenly, sound all the same. But when we do phrase, when we're closer to the end, we're gonna play a bit softer, lighter, and shorter. Doesn't really matter how long that phrase is. Maybe 2 notes or 3 notes. The ending note, the last note of that phrase, we always play softer, shorter, and lighter. Okay, so I'm gonna use 2 notes for example. So the first note I'm gonna play loud. Second note I'm gonna play softer by putting my fingers touching the key and pull up my wrist. So you see, I'm not striking the key as loud as walking fingers. Alright, this is the walking finger. We play exactly the same, but when we do phrase, we try to make the last notes shorter and quieter. The really important thing is pull your hands up after the last note. And your hands, you see my wrist? I'm feeling like you're pushing the high roll forward, push forward. Okay, your hand kind of like a rolling a ball. Naturally pull it up, roll the ball and pull it up, roll the ball and pull it up. Okay, that's the phrase, the hand movement. We can do 3 notes. Alright, you see that 3 notes we play loud at the beginning and a little bit quieter, medium loud for the middle notes, and the last notes we play really soft. That's another thing about the phrase, the dynamic change. Dynamics means loud or soft of a sound. So if we have a 5 notes phrase, we're gonna play the first 2 loud, middle 2 medium loud, and then the last one really quiet. So you can hear loud gradually getting quiet. And lift your hands up. Have a little pause. Okay, so what I would do, I'll play the phrasing 2s and phrasing 3s. So you can have a look at first and see how I did with the phrase, and then try it on your own. Okay, now let's start with the phrasing 2s. freezing tools, it also has a 4-bar pattern and then repeat on different positions. So you can move your hands one white key at a time to the right, playing the same pattern in different positions. Okay, now I'm going to try the freezing 3s. So similar, but you're doing 3 notes: loud, medium, and quiet. Okay. Okay, so that's the phrase. And last one, actually, I said a 3 technique, basic technique at the beginning, but I thought let's do a whole bunch of all the technique things that we need to learn from the primer level, so we can put them all together in one video. We don't have to search for another one. So I'm sorry that I said the 3 basic technique, but there are one more. There's a one more. So we have about 5: stepping fingers, jumping fingers, walking fingers, phrase, and crossing hands. Right, so the last one is called crossing hands. So most of the time our right hands play the high pitch, high range, and lower range is played by left hand. So our hands go like this. But sometimes we do need to push our left hands cross right hand to play the higher pitch, or right hands cross over to play the lower range. So it depends on the songs that we're gonna do. This is called the crossing hand. Okay, now this technique need a very good what can I put as some word, and aware of the positions or the notes that you're going to. So you have like a keyboard in your head and you really know which notes you're gonna play and which finger, and it's also involved with a timing. So when you're gonna put your hands, how fast you're gonna shifting your hands, or how accurately you can locate the key. So involve a lot of skills for this technique. So I will use the turning cartwheels, still on the technique book, so to explain the skills. Now this piece is basically using the chords. Alright, using the chords and moving on the white keys. The left hand's gonna cross over, play the first note of each position. Okay, so first I'm gonna use C position, playing the C chord. So C, E, number 3, and then G. And then right hand carry on. C, E, G. Then left hands cross over, play the first note, which is a C, at the last. And then pull my hands back, move to D position, D chord. Cross over, play the first note of the position D. Left your hands up and E position. F position. G position. position. B position. Now we're going back to C position. Now this is a one way of crossing hand. Is our left hand cross over right hand. And this piece we also can play opposite way. So we can start from a right hand. And the right hand cross over to the left side. Alright, so you can move down to the next position. So you can play left hands crossover, and also you can do right hands crossover. So that's the first one called the turning cartwheels exercises. And the second one, we have another one that's similar to the turning cartwheel, but the left hand and right hand gonna play the same notes coming down. So what's that sounds like is starting from a C position again. C, E, G, C, E, G, left hand cross over C, and then right hand continue. Coming back the way, same way. And then you can move to D position. D, F, A, D, F, A cross over D, A, F, D, A, F, D. Same pattern, E position. And so on. You can move on to different positions. Okay, so this one is a slightly different. You're gonna remember where your left hands start. So when you put your hands back to the original position, you know which note you're gonna play. Alright, so that's the 5 basic finger exercises or basic finger techniques in the primary level. I want you to take a time, watch these videos and do each one nice and slow. Feel the finger movement, the arm movement, the wrist, shoulders, get your whole body work together. The key thing is getting the actions correct. Okay, not the speed. We're gonna go slowly and correctly. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.